Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Ahmed, the altcoin era. Some of you are going to look at your charts, look at your portfolio, and you're going to be surprised, shocked. How can this happen? How on earth could this happen? How? Someone called the government. I did say many times that we are going to head to this wick. Yeah, market makers are going to push this to the wick. I did say it multiple times. If you don't believe me, check out this video. This is BTC and this is a megaphone chart. As you can see here, we hit this bottom multiple times and then finally broke out. The same rule applies here. We hit this multiple times in this megaphone. As you can see here, it looks like we're going to head to this area of 87,000 US dollars. And altcoins are going to fill these wicks. These wicks are going to get filled. I said this time and time again, and this is most certainly going to get filled. I want to show you something. Bitcoin has filled the wick. We headed all the way here, but most interestingly, the majority of the move happened in the last 2 hours, as you can see right over here. We wicked all the way down here, and I did say market makers want to push this right to this wick, and as a result, in the last 24 hours, 110 million US dollars was wiped from the crypto market. Now, the $1 million question is this: what happens next? Now, I've got good news and some bad news. The bad news is that we have broken the 120-day moving average. We pretty much broke all the averages. All right, we're underneath the Hichimochi cloud, as you can see, which is not a good sign. We haven't done this since all the way back in 2021. Once we crossed the 120-day moving average, we went down to 42%. We formed a dead cat bounce, and then we made another high. So this wasn't over. The bull market wasn't finished. We did fall underneath this moving average and also the Hichimochi cloud. That's the last time we've done this exact range of movement. Yeah, we could, however, bounce and reclaim it and go up higher and then continue to go up higher. But if we close, ladies and gentlemen, right underneath the 120-day moving average, then of course we have some more downside to go. Nonetheless, it's not to fright. We've seen these situations happen time and time again. We need buyers to step back in and propel this above the Hichimochi cloud. I'm going to show you some indicators, especially this one right here. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is the CPI result. And if I zoom out and show you on the weekly, and I show you a better chart, let me move all of these indicators, and for you, you'll be able to see a clearer illustration. Now, this is the CPI result. And as you can see here, CPI went up higher and higher and higher. We were all there. Everyone was ignoring it. It kept on going higher and higher and higher and higher. We went up to a whopping 9.13% in inflation. As a result, Bitcoin went downwards. So there is an inverse correlation. It peaked right over here. Bitcoin almost bottomed. It wasn't until a few weeks later, a few months later, that we did form an adequate bottom. CPI went downwards. Bitcoin is not an inflation hedge. Remember that. Don't ever forget. The Bitcoin maxis will lie to you and say that Bitcoin is an inflation hedge. It's not. It's a risk on asset. Now, as you can see here, CPI went downwards. Bitcoin recovered and continued to go up higher and higher. The alarming sign is that CPI is coming back. It currently stands at 3.01. This is not a good sign. And clearly you can tell that the behavior of Bitcoin has changed drastically. If the CPI continues to go up higher and higher and higher, Bitcoin as a result will be in inverse correlation and Bitcoin will probably head down. The biggest correlation is CPI, ladies and gentlemen. Altcoins are dependent on liquidity. I did say this time and time again. I'm going to show you the Fed funds rate. And as you can see here recently, this is the most updated. QT made a new lower low. It's continuing to go downwards. Ethereum, unfortunately, couldn't hold this major trend line right over here. We hit this trend line multiple times. It was major confluence. I was disappointed by Ethereum once again, and we're probably heading to this wick, just like the majority of the markets. The majority of the markets have made a wick very similar to Ethereum, Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin dominance plus Ethereum plus stablecoins. So we're most likely going to head to this area, to this wick. I did say in a previous episode, not too long ago, that we're probably going to make candles around this area, form actual candles around this area. And as a result, I wasn't wrong. That period lasted from here to there, roughly around 150 days. Okay. That's roughly 3 months and some change. 3 months and some change will be around July. Okay. around July, worst comes to worst, okay? I'm not saying this is finite and this is going to happen. But if we do see a crash, then we could see prices go up to this area, yeah? And by July 2025, the market at the moment is risk on, mainly because of the uncertainty in the markets. The market is turning risk off, and it's clear and easy to see in the charts. I'm going to show you something interesting, and this is, ladies and gentlemen, the USDC dominance. There is some confluence. I'm going to get rid of this one more time and get rid of this. I'm going to show you on the logarithmic chart where you can see it more clearly. This chart right here is basically the stablecoin dominance, and currently we are at 4.83%. I'm going to overlay Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin, and what do you notice? There is a correlation. Now, I don't know if you can see very clearly, we are in this ascending channel right over here. Every time we hit these lower areas in stablecoin dominance, Bitcoin has peaked. Yet again, we got close to this area and it peaked. Again, we've hit this trend line and Bitcoin has peaked. Likewise, the reverse is very clear. Every time we hit these upper areas over here, we've bottomed. And again, we've slightly bottomed. It looks like we're heading to a corrective period in Bitcoin's cycle. Altcoins are already making new lower lows, and majority of them are very, very, very oversold, highly oversold. I can show you any chart. Back in 2021, you could throw a dart and any coin, you could pick any coin, and literally every single coin went up. This market is not a bull market. Altcoins are not in an actual bull market. We have made sustained rallies, but these rallies are not what we saw in past cycles. Altcoins are a liquidity play. They're just similar to Main Street. If Main Street is doing well, then altcoins are doing well. If Main Street has some disposable income, then altcoins will be doing well. Bitcoin has completely decoupled altcoins, and the main reason is because it's now in the hands of the super rich. Let's be honest, it's in the hands of the super rich, and you know what they do. They have endless amounts of money. So Bitcoin is most likely gonna go through a super cycle. Now, I've got no real doubts about that. As long as CPI comes down, I think Bitcoin is gonna go from strength to strength. If your altcoins haven't done a 6x return, then you do have a major problem. Not only is your Bitcoin dominance pair depleting and going downwards, I can show you any kind of BTC dominance pair. It's going downwards. Your USD value is also heading downwards, forming new lows. Unfortunately, Solana was a very, very good product, but they went astray. They lost their way and they got into these very highly extractive casino plays, and as a result, this Bitcoin dominance is going downwards. This is not a good sign. You know what's so crazy and what's so strange? When Pumped Up Fun first came out, right over here, ever since that marked the very, very peak for Bitcoin dominance. It looks eerily similar to this chart right over here. Same thing. Same very thing. And you know what happened during this period? It was the merge. The merge came out during this period, and ever since then it went downwards. It looks like a carbon copy of the Ethereum and Bitcoin pair. BNB is doing swimmingly well. If you want to get into some safety plays, then BNB is the place to hide. It's only down 23%, whereas the majority of coins, well, you know the story. You can look at your portfolio and know. Ethereum is down from its local highs from here all the way to there, to the wick, 48%. To candle, it's at 40%. Solana is down massively. Let's talk about Solana quickly. I've given it too much attention. It's gone down 53% and has had 5 weekly candles. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the last time we had 6 weekly candles was all the way in the bear market. The biggest issue with these coins is this. Now, I don't know if some of you are holding these coins, but once it goes down a whopping 80%, that's when everyone says, oh, we're in a bear market now. That happens time and time again. Everyone here was elated, happy, ecstatic. There was so much euphoria we formed a complacency shoulder. It wasn't until here or here, maybe here, then people realized, guys, we are in a bear market. So it takes a while for people to realize that, oh my God, I think we're in a bear market for Solana. Bitcoin could have a left translated cycle. Could. That is, if we get the same period as the 1970s. If we head into another inflationary moment, then of course this will be a left translated cycle. Now, I don't hold a crystal ball. I can't tell you into the future that far away. But what I can tell you is that inflation, in my opinion, has been controlled. And I've overlaid the Japanese central bank, and as of now, it's at 0.5% interest rate. As many of you are aware, Japan has not seen inflation for a very long time. Maybe 30 years they've never seen inflation. Every time we've marked a local top. So as you can see here, we marked the top here, another top here, and again, we've marked another top when it's first announced, okay? Every time they've increased rates, it has seen some pullback, some disagreement. There are a lot of tailwinds at the moment and mainly uncertainty at the moment. So what we need, especially for your altcoins, I have to say it, we really have to see a crash. I'm not talking about some little old crash. I'm talking about a fat granddaddy crash. Yeah, from the very top till here, then the pivot will begin. Powell's going to start sweating, going to start shaking. He's going to be scared. Then, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to stop QT. He's not doing this for the betterment of our altcoins. Matter of fact, he wants us to lose. One of the main indirect reasons why some participants became rich was because of the Fed. Some of the reasons why you're feeling the pinch is because of the Fed. There's no two ways about it. The Fed need to stop QT. Once that happens, then, ladies and gentlemen, we can see higher prices for our altcoins. As of now, we might be in struggle street for quite some time. The bears are going to come out. I promise you, they're going to come out in full force. Let them have some fun. It's not going to be for too long. We'll be back again. That's it for now. There's plenty of alpha on our private members. Join our private members. You won't regret it. I promise you. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.